Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I like finding father figures on YouTube and online. The same way I found Bari. Now I feel like I found Fick. I don't see him as a father figure for me. I'm just saying, if you're one of the poverty escapers, like I would highly recommend you look to him. He's great in all the ways. I've never come across a person like him in my life. So I don't know. For me, when I see something that's like a novelty, something that's outside of the norm, I have to talk about it because I am a gossiper. So like that's what we do over here. And now it's actually very funny because and I will talk about this a little more. So while I was in Europe and doing that Europe trip, I I came across a bunch of people from the Midwest. I'd never come across those people either, and I realized how strange it was for them to meet me. It was just as strange for me to meet them. So it's kind of an ode to like when you come across someone who's so vastly different from your personal worldview, especially if that's someone from the same racial group as you, I would say take note and study up or just follow and observe. Anyway, the black male Bobo from Atlanta, FD Signifier, and the rise of the self-made blackademic. In David Brooks' Bobos in Paradise, the term Bobos, it's a bourgeois bohemian, defined a new upper class that blended capitalist success with liberal ideals. 20 years later, it's time to examine how that archetype maps into the modern black elite, especially the self made intellectuals navigating class mobility and cultural critique. Enter FD Signifier and the rare black male Bobo, forged not in Ivy League institutions or Jack and Jill lineages, but in the gritty, hyper online, graduate degree holding class of black thinkers from Atlanta and beyond. Who are the Bobos? Brooks described Bobos as the children of meritocracy, secular, educated, socially liberal, and financially successful, living in a contradiction between their progressive values and their elite status. But his analysis didn't consider race. What happens when someone climbs the same socioeconomic ladder while black? The absence of black male Bobos. There are black elites, there are black academics, but the exact fusion of cultural cool, independent wealth, political wokeness, and intellectual command that defines a Bobo rarely includes black men, especially those outside traditional elite pipelines. FT Signifier, a YouTube intellectual with 1 million plus subscribers, is quietly remapping that terrain. Atlanta as an incubator. Atlanta, historically a black cultural mecca and site of both grassroots hustle and high black wealth, has nurtured this archetype. Unlike NYC or LA intellectuals seeped in white liberal institutions, FD emerges from the city where blackness is the norm. And that shapes his critiques of class, respectability, and media. Jack and Jill reimagined. In his essay, Black Excellence for Me But Not for Y'all, FD critiques Jack and Jill, the old guard keepers of black bourgeois life, for failing to capture the complexity of the black experience. His work functions as both insider and outsider commentary. He sees the value of legacy, but refuses its erasure of struggle. Hillbilly Elegy versus Hillbillyology. In contrast to J.D. Vance's Hillbilly Elegy, FD's worldview is more intersectional. His hillbillyology isn't about nostalgia or moral superiority, it's about lived experience, systemic analysis, and the refusal to condense to working class culture. He critiques from within. Blackademia on YouTube. Unlike many black academics who published behind paywalls, FD reached his audience via YouTube. This digital populism mirrors the bohemian aspect of Bobo life. Content over credentials, cultural fluency over institutional acceptance. Politics of the new black Bobo. While white Bobos blend capitalism with progressivism, black Bobos like FD hold a different tension. Capitalism is not an inheritance, but a tool of survival. Liberalism is not luxury, but moral urgency. His politics are sharp, not performative. Liberal guilt versus black realism. White Bobos suffer liberal guilt. Black Bobos suffer the burden of representation. FD's work illustrates how even making it as a black man comes with baggage, accusations of respectability, suspicion of selloutism, and constant cultural translation. Aesthetic class markers. The FD look, locks tease, speaking from a modest home, masks the deep erudition and class critique embedded in his work. This aesthetic ambiguity is strategic. It gives access to both working class creed and academic legitimacy. Ezra Klein, Richard Reeves, and the White Boy Roundtable. FD stands apart from the white liberal discourse machine like Ezra Klein, Scott Galloway, and Richard Reeves by injecting race, emotion and cultural intimacy. Where they analyze young men's struggles, FD embodies them. Oak Bluffs twice every 3 years. I think that FD vacations at Oak Bluffs, um, not only twice every 3 years, but I think he does. He's close to the black elite, but not entrenched. He can critique the brunches, the bougie aspirations, and the exclusion without needing their full approval. I think he goes to Oak Bluffs probably twice every 3 years. Like, he's not a regular seasonally, but he definitely visits with the fam. Like, he definitely has to have his kids be like, you have gone to Oak Bluffs and you know what it is. They got the sweatshirts on the wall. The role of self-made blackademics. Unlike inherited elites, FD speaks for a generation of self-made intellectuals who built platforms from scratch. These thinkers are not beholden to institutions, yet they produce the same caliber of cultural analysis, often with greater reach. The Bobo dilemma again. So, is FD a Bobo? Yes, but he's a Black Bobo 2.0. He's not trying to replicate whiteness, he's crafting a new model where critique, culture, and community mix freely. The dilemma, sorry, the dilemma now isn't whether to be a Bobo, it's how to do so without betraying the block. A new thought wave. FD Signifier and the new Black Bobos may not have inherited their status, but they are inheriting a responsibility to critique, to represent, and to innovate. They are not just thinkers, they are builders of new cultural paradigms. And their politics might just save liberalism from itself. What do you guys think? Does anyone else watch Fic? I watch all of Fic's videos. I don't know how to put it. I think they're great. I think they're great.